bid, or as many have chosen to do, to use the chat function and to simply type your bid into the chat. I've got an example for you on how to bid. If you're not familiar with the process here today, if I can first get you to identify yourself by your paddle number and then that bid, then that will make it easy for us to be able to process the sale behind the scenes. But speaking of that, you can see at the moment some lovely pictures of the home that are flowing through. Once we get underway here today, you'll see those numbers starting to appear. The bids will roll through on the screen, and as the auction goes on, obviously those numbers will increase. If we get to a point where we're on the market today, then you'll see those numbers turn green. And from that point on, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be selling away to our highest bidder, and we'll process the sale electronically immediately after the auction. The vendors, they're calling for a 10% deposit. $20,000 of that deposit is due and payable today by transfer. The balance of the 10% is due on Monday. And Darryl will just type in now the flexible settlement terms, just so that you can see them there in writing in front of you here today. And while Darryl does that, I'll make you aware of today's auction rules, and they are that the auction will be conducted in accordance with the rules and any additional conditions that were made available for your inspection prior to the commencement of today's auction. Those auction rules prohibit an auctioneer from accepting bids or offers for the property after it has been knocked down to the successful bidder. Those auction rules prohibit false bids and prohibit major disruptions by bidders, and prohibit bidders attempting to prevent others from bidding and provide fines for this conduct. Our vendors have a reserve price. As the auctioneer, I'll indicate bidders on request, and the law permits vendor bids. The words are used to indicate I'm making a bid on behalf of the vendor. Our vendor bid, and by law, only I as the auctioneer can make a vendor bid. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've seen Darryl post the terms in there. Vacant possession, 30 days right the way through to 90 days. So if you need a settlement this year, we can accommodate. If you need a settlement into the early part of January, then we can accommodate there as well with up to 90 days buyers. Flexible terms there. And as I said, two fantastic ways to bid today. Turn your mic on, turn your camera on and yell out your bid, or simply type your offer into the chat, preceded by your paddle number, so that we know who's who, and we can process things behind the scenes for you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a wonderful opportunity here this afternoon. Darryl and Michael and the team behind the sale are available today on the phone. They're watching on a tablet or on a computer, which means their phone line is available should you need any assistance with the auction here today. It is important to point out, ladies and gentlemen, that there can be up to a 1 or 1.5 second delay from when you type your bid into the chat to when we all receive that information. So if you are thinking, I'll put my last minute bid in, make sure that you do it in enough time, because once I declare the property sold here this afternoon, we can't reopen the bidding and accept any further bids. So what I'm saying is, buyers, if there is a bid that comes through in the chat after I've declared the property sold, we can't engage with that bidder or indeed any further bidding from that point. Once it's sold here this afternoon. And just to make it easy for you and for me, if you've put your last bid in this afternoon, if you can simply just type in out into the chat, then we know that you've placed your final bid and that we know to look to the other bidders for their bidding here today. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a sensational opportunity, 23 Kooringa Crescent here in Wheelers Hill. Buyers, you've got 4 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, a wonderful layout, and some lovely updates that have been through the property. Timber floors, ducted heating, split system cooling, that outdoor entertaining space, a covered space. By the time settlement rolls around, by that sort of 30, 60 or 90 days, hopefully we've been afforded a few more freedoms in Victoria here, and you can invite your friends and family around and to celebrate your new home. It certainly is an outstanding opportunity, buyers. Lovely position, lovely streetscape, ready to move in and enjoy. And as with all residential real estate, established real estate buyers, there is scope for you to personalise and to make it your own. But it's easy to move in and enjoy, as I said, as you've seen it today. Ladies and gentlemen, this wonderful location in Wheelers Hill Secondary, Brandon Park Shopping, Caulfield Grammar, Gels Park, and all of the amenities that make Wheelers Hill an exciting suburb are on your doorstep. Monash Freeway in one direction, Eastlink in the other direction, ladies and gentlemen. It's all here for you on offer at 23 Kooringa Crescent this afternoon. I'm not going to hold you back any further. We need an offer or bid to get us underway here today. For whom and for how much, we're about to determine here today, buyers. An offer or bid to start. Start us where you will in your hands. Offer or bid to start. Simon, I've seen you unmute. Am I sensing you're going to yell out a bid for me here today? Not to put you on the spot. Paddle 18, $980,000. Ying, welcome to you. That's the exact format we need for the bidding today, buyers. At $980,000, let's move together. Nice, easy $20,000 rise from there. At 980 is the call. Let's round it up and call it $1 million even money now. At 980, we've gotten We're Away and started in KS Lee, $1 million there. At one's the call, your paddle number if you wouldn't mind. At $1 million the call, round it up and call it 20 on top. At $1 million the call, paddle 18 back to you. What do you say now? At $1 million the bid's against you now. Paddle 18, call it $1,020,000 anywhere. At $1,020,000 straight back, and I should think so there. At $1,020,000 the call, can we say 40 now? At $1,020,000 the bid, can we say 40 or maybe a bigger bid on top? At $1,020,000 the call. Make it 40 if you like now. $1,020,000. Two bidders in it at this stage. More welcome, of course, at $1,020,000's the call. 1020, 40 is what you need. Jasmine, welcome there. Paddle 13, $1,040,000 the call. At 1040, we go together there. 18 against you now. Do we say 60? At $1,040,000, it's against you and also KS Lee early on. At $1,040,000, can we say 60 in the rise anywhere now? 3 in the competition. At $1,040,000 and 60 CS8 now. At $1,060,000, that's 4 at $1,060,000 the bid. At 1060, ladies and gentlemen, at 60 the call over $1 million now. At $1,060,000, can we say 80 on top? At $1,060,000, I'd even take 10 if that helps from here at a 70 bid. At $1,070,000 and paddle 8 and 13 and 18, it's against you earlier now. At $1,070,000, don't miss it this afternoon. At $1,070,000, are we all done? At $1,070,000, first time in the call.
90.
90, welcome Simon on top at $1,090,000 now. At $1,090,000, and who's going to make it 1-1? At $1,090,000, welcome there. At $1,090,000, Simon bidding online there, yelling out nice and clear for us at $1,090,000. At $1,090,000, call it 1.1 anywhere now, buyers. At $1,090,000, I can't take that 5, Luckman. We're already at $1,090,000, as you can see in the screen there. At $1,090,000. Can we see any bond back in for 10 or better bid now? Can't take your 5 at this stage. Needs to be 10 on top minimum from here. $1,090,000. Simon holds the highest bid. At $1,090,000, need to be 10 to keep it moving. At $1,090,000 at 1.1, paddle 7. At $1,000,001 and 10.
10.
$1,000,110. Back to Simon. $1,000,110. $1,000,110. $1,110,000 the call. Against you, paddle 7, against KS Lee, against paddle 8, 13 and 18 earlier. At $1,110,000 the call. At $1,110,000, Darryl, some instructions if you wouldn't mind. At $1,110,000. Simon holds the highest bid at this stage, $1,110,000. 20 now, KS Lee.
30.
30 now, straight back. At $1,130,000.
Selling, Andrew.
On the market, clear as day now, at $1,130,000. Simon, can I just get a paddle number from you? At $1,130,000.
37.
37?
Yep.
Thank you. $1,130,000, paddle 37 on top. At $1,130,000, you can see on the screen. Darryl's going to flick it to green so we know we're selling. And on the market here now, at $1,130,000, buys, that's your cue to bid strongly, to bid confidently, to try and buy. At $1,130,000, I'm happy to take a 5 if that helps from here. At $1,130,000, we've got locked away and we sell away if there's no higher offer today. At $1,130,000. 35 now.
40.
40. $1,140,000 with paddle 37. Simon bidding nice and clear and confidently there. At $1,140,000, KS Lee, CS8, you're on top at 45.
50.
50 now. $1,150,000. 1,150,000 is the highest bid at this point. Can we go again in 5 from there? Number 8 at 1,150,000 is the offer to beat now. At 1,150,000, can we say 55 or try a high bid from there? At $1,150,000 the call. At 1,150,000, do we say 5 or KS Lee? And if you're going to bid again, Mr. or Mrs. Lee, if you wouldn't mind putting in your paddle number as well. At $1,150,000. Are we all done? Surely not. At 1,150,000. Well, call away once in the bid at 1,150,000. We've got 50 already. You can see it on the screen there. It needs to be 55 or better bid. At 1,150,000, the bid is with Simon Paddle 37 there. At 1,150,000, it needs to be 5 or better offer. You need to be looking at the screen with the numbers at 1,150,000. Needs to be 5 or better bid. 1,150,000 is already registered there as a bid with Paddle 37 at $1,150,000 the call now. At 1,150,000 needs to be 5 or better bid. KS Lee, the bid is not with you at this stage. It's with Simon at 1,150,000. It needs to be back in for 5 or better bid. CS8, the same instructions. Paddle 7, Paddle 13 as well. It's at that stage of the auction where I need some confirmations. If you put your best bid in, if you wouldn't mind just typing out into the chat. At 1,150,000, Paddle 37 is in the lead. KS Lee, perhaps Michael or Darryl, you can make contact with KS Lee and let them know they're not quite in the lead at this stage. At 1,150,000 is the call. Needs to be 55 or better bid. At 1,150,000, let's call away 3 times and then it goes. At $1,150,000. First call. Simon holds that highest bid. 55
60.
now. 60 straight back with Paddle 37 there. At 1,160,000 now is the highest bid. At 1,160,000, do we go again? Paddle 8. At 1,160,000, it's against you now. At 1,160,000, 56, we go together there. 56 the bid now, Simon, against you.
65.
65, good strong bidding there at 1,165,000. At 65's the call. At 1,165,000, you can see it there in green numbers on the screen. At 65's the call. KS Lee, 1,000 if you like, or better bid. At 1,165,000. 1,165. Paddle 37's in the lead. Paddle 7 and Paddle 13 and Paddle 18. Haven't heard anything from you for quite some time. If you wouldn't mind confirming with another bid that you're in, or by typing out into the chat if indeed we've got your best offer today at 1,165,000, 70 now.
75.
75 straight back, 1,175,000. 1,170,000. 5 is the call now. 1,175,000. 1,175,000. That's the number to beat. KS Lee, CS8. 1,175,000. 1.2 strong bid. At 1,200,000 the call. Where do we go from there, ladies and gentlemen? 1,200,000's call. KS Lee, if I could just get you to identify yourself by your paddle number, or maybe Michael, Darryl, if you know it, to type it into the chat for us. At $1,200,000, potentially a knockout bid, but I'm not sure. At $1,200,000 the call. Happy in 1,000 or better bid, if that helps you. 1,200,000 now. Flexible settlement terms, 30 days, all the way through to 90 days. Fantastic 4-bedroom home here, 2 living areas, undercover entertaining space. Lovely position there in Kooringa Crescent. All the amenities close by. $1,200,000, ladies and gentlemen. 3 calls and away we go at $1,200,000 for the first time. Thank you, Michael. Paddle 77's got the lead. Second call.
5.
205. 1,205,000 now. Back with Paddle 37. 205. Paddle 77. How do we respond now? 1,205,000. 205's bid. 1,205,000. To CS8, to Luckman, paddle 7, and to paddle 13. Have we got any further bidding, or have we got your best offers today? If so, if you wouldn't mind typing out into the chat just so that we know where we're at. And $1,205,000 live bidding, paddle 37. CS8, you're out. Thank you for your confirmation there. At $1,205,000 buyers against you, paddle 37. The lead is now 205 over $1 million there. At $1,205,000 as we just get confirmations that we've got people's best bids today. At 210 now. At 210, paddle 77. $210. Do we add another 5? On top at $1,210,000. 2,000?
Yeah.
212 now. 1,212,000. 212's the bid at 77 versus 37. Who's going to take away the contract today? At 1,212,000. It's paddle 37 at this stage. At $1,212,000. Are we at the summit today, or is there further bidding? Paddle 7 confirmed as out at $1,212,000 the call. At $1,212,000, thank you, Michael. Paddle 7 is out and done at $1,212,000 to 13 now.
14.
14. 14, back with paddle 37. 214. 214 is the bid. Paddle 77, do we add another 1,000? Do we make it 215? 1,214,000 is the bid, locked away at 1,214,000. Looks like it's just down to 2 at $1,214,000. Paddle 37's bid away, 1,214,000. Paddle 77, maybe Michael, you can get some instructions on the phone to see whether we've got further bidding at $1,214,000. Looking for that 1,000 or better offer now at $1,214,000. If we don't see anything further, we sell away buyers. Here are your 3 calls. And fair warning now at $1,214,000 once. Second call at $1,214,000. Paddle 77. Are we in? Are we out? 15 now. 215. Rolling in ones. I'm happy to do it as long as we keep the ones moving at 1,215,000.
17.
17 now. 217. 217. 1,000 or better bid to stay in it here this afternoon. 1,217,000. 1,217,000, paddle 37, sale locked away if there's no better bid at $1,217,000, paddle 77, Mr. and Mrs. Lee, we're just waiting on your instructions there at $1,217,000, first time in the call at 18 now, 1218.
19.
19. 1,219,000. Do we make it 20? 1,219,000. Round it up and call it 20,000 if you like. 1,219,000 is the bid. 1,219,000. 22. 1,222,000. 222. We round it up, maybe make it 225 or 230. 222 we've got.
3.
3.
223.
230.
No, 223.
223. Thank you. 223 the bid. 223, loud and clear at 223. Do we add another big bid to the Lee family on top, if you like? 1,223,000, paddle 77. Against you now, 223 is the bid to be. 1,223,000. 1,223,000. Give you plenty of time to think about your offer at $1,223,000, but we will need to know whether we've got our best bid today. To those that have missed out and those that have indicated they're out, I thank you in advance for your bidding and participation here today. We hope to find you something very soon. At $1,223,000, Paddle 37 is hoping to win the search today. At $1,223,000, 225. Now's the bid at 225. $225 we've got. $225. Paddle 77 taking the lead. 1,225,000.
26.
26 now. 26 the call. Paddle 77 back to you. Do we make it 30? Maybe even if it's your last bid, round it up and away we go. At 1,226,000. Over to you. 1,226,000. 1,000 the minimum. Sky the limit, of course. 1,226,000. Do we say 27, 28, 30? You type it in, I'll yell it out at $1,226,000. Paddle 37's in the lead at 1,226,000. 228 now. 228. Do we stick with 1,000 or do we go to 30? $228's the number to beat. 1,000 or better bid to round it up. 1,228,000. Paddle 77's got the lead. Simon, Paddle 37. Do we have any further bidding today? At 1,228,000. 228's the call. Out. Thank you for your bidding here today. You do have 3 calls, of course, to get another bid in if you would like to place another bid, ladies and gentlemen. But if we don't hear anything further or see anything further in the chat before the property is declared sold, then we can't accept late bids, as I've said. At $1,228,000. Would it help if I said I'd take 500? Would that help to get one more bid in and give you that last chance? At $1,228,000, could we say a half? 1,228,000. Can't be any fairer than that here on a sunny Saturday afternoon. 1,228,500 would be the next bid if you'd like it for 500 on top. At 1,228,000. Well, call away first time. At 1,228,000. Simon, I know you've typed in chat, but does that 500 tempt you to come in one more time? At $1,228,000. Second call. At $1,228,000. Buyers, as I've said, I can't accept late bids or offers. I've broken it down to a $500 bid. If that helps anyone here this afternoon, at $1,228,000. Simon, last opportunity. Are we definitely out? At $1,228,000. We'll call it away third and final time. Half or better offer. We'll keep you in the competition here today, ladies and gentlemen. We've had spirited competition and bidding from half a dozen parties here today. Thanking the vendors for the opportunity to market their home together with Craig Knudsen from Vendor Marketing, of course, Darryl and Michael looking after you right the way through. Buyers, I'm giving you an extra moment to think because I'd hate to see anyone miss this property today for a $500 bid on top. Happy to take that to keep it moving. If not, we sell away to Paddle 77 at $1,228,000. First call at $1,228,000. Simon, are we definitely out?
We're out.
Thank you. At $1,228,000. Second call now. We sell away buyers, calling it 3 times. On the third and final call, at $1,228,000, we sell away at $1,228,000. It's going, it's sold, and congratulations to Paddle 77, to Paddle 37, and to the other bidders, too many to name by number. Thank you for your spirited bidding. Stay safe. My name is Andrew Davies. It's been a great pleasure to be your auctioneer here this afternoon. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll catch up soon. Thank you. Bye for now.
Thank you.